Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sistas United, reunited, and it feels so
Feels so
good,
good.
so good. What's up, y'all? Welcome
What's
back.
up, everybody?
Y'all
Hey
ready for
y'all.
Huh?
y'all ready for tonight?
I'm ready.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, let me do my icebreaker because y'all know I'm gonna do my ice. Well, first, everybody just Alicia, how was your day? How did the day go?
Today was good. It rained, so I stayed home. I've been home all day, which is a first in a long time that
Yeah,
I haven't been you know, having to be here for a reason. You'd have to take sick, and this was just a day off. And I was
yeah.
like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave the house today. I'm just gonna chill.
Hey, you
And
gotta,
it's been a really good day.
yeah. But hey, you gotta do what you got. Hey, when it rain, I want to go to sleep. I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. I want to lay it down. I
And
want to
that's
just.
what I did quite a bit of when it rained over here. I did a lot of nodding off and waking up in the chair like, wait a minute, what's happening? So yeah, did a lot of that today.
You said nod off. That reminded me, my grandma used to say nod off all the
Nodding off, dozing off, honey, whatever you want to call it. I was just waking up just wait, what we doing?
time. Okay, Odessa, what you do today?
It must be going around. I did the same thing. I stayed at home all day. My
What?
car decided to have a few challenges, and I was like, I'm going back in the house. And I stayed at home and slept all day. Feels
What?
good.
Yeah.
Now I'm so jealous of y'all. I don't even know what to do.
But the more you sleep, the more you want to sleep. Because I'm sleeping now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I sat behind this desk today. They ran me all over the world, trying to whatever, but I didn't get to see the rain today. I went in before the rain started and got out after the rain had finished what it wanted to do.
Well, that's a really good thing because it was kind of bad today.
Oh, it was?
Oh yeah, especially
Yeah.
over here where I am. It was pretty bad today.
Yeah, it was rough on all sides.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. Okay, so, but at least y'all got some sleep. That's what's important.
Exactly.
All right, I'm finna do my icebreaker question to get the talking going. Y'all, we got a lovely show for you today. We're gonna be talking. Oh, that's gonna mention her book because she said she just gonna mention it. She gonna mention it. I ain't gonna mention it because y'all know I'll mention it, but she gonna mention it. Okay.
Okay.
Then we're gonna get into our topic. Why you spin the block? Why should you spin the block? Why
Ooh.
should you spin the block? Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. We're gonna get into
Mm.
that. Now, my icebreaker question is how does it make you feel when somebody tell you you miss your calling, you miss your or you hear the phrases like when somebody passed away, oh, they died before their time. How, what y'all be feeling about them type of statements?
How you know? I'm just gonna be just straight up. How you know? Clearly, you missed yours talking about something that you don't know nothing about, unless you actually. I, how you know? And then they get offended. Mm.
Well, I don't believe people die before their time. I believe you die when you're supposed to die. And I know a lot of people disagree with that because they say, "Oh, he was too young." Or you die when you're supposed to die, in my opinion. However it happens, whatever time it happens, when you die, it was your time.
Right.
And
Right.
as far as you miss your calling, I think they're really trying to be funny, you know. Because I've been told that, who you girl, you miss your calling. You should have been a doctor. Oh, girl, you missed your calling. You should have been a comedian. It's just because I'm shooting straight and they don't really like what you're saying. So they kind of try to throw it off and say, girl, you missed your call.
You
No,
miss
you
your
didn't hear what I'm saying.
And that's why you say, how you know?
how you
Let
know
them know.
who
That's
told you? I mean,
that's
did
how I respond. How you know?
how you know? And it's true, it's true on this. People be poking fun at you when they say stuff. Oh, you miss
That's
your
what
call.
it is. I couldn't get the phrase right. Yeah, they be poking fun at you.
Oh
Hmm.
Lord.
That's not a compliment.
It's not a compliment, and then that's why, like, and you shoot it right back at them. And at that moment, a lot of people are not used to somebody responding to their foolishness.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So when you respond to it, it's like you ask, what would you do if someone asks, this is good, because you know what, ladies, we need to. I vote that we start having a what would you do scenario, just as a little hot topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let our viewers get in on it.
Yeah, let the
Right. Right.
viewers get in on it. Viewers, you come in, you give us send us a snippet, if you will, of something.
Yeah.
Not
That's a good idea.
necessarily a video or anything, just write in something. Hey, I'm kind
Right.
of going through something,
Yeah.
and I would like, your opinion.
What would
What
you
would you
do?
do?
Yeah.
And we
What would
just
you do?
and we each give our opinions, because you know we have three
That would be
different.
a good segment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that would be great. Now I might sneak some questions in there.
I know I'm gonna sneak some in, because who some of the stuff that I see.
Oh, this is. What would you do? This is. And which today's topic is why you want to spin the block. You know.
Mm,
So so I mean that's a good scenario. And I'm gonna just be honest, it's coming straight from my book, from my experience. And I got some opinions. I'm upset about some things, and I'm appalled, and I'm bewildered, and I'm discombobulated. So that's why
flabbergasted and befuddled.
befuddled is the one. That's I want to talk about that. So we're gonna get into that. Okay. Why would you spend about? But before we do, our commercial of the day is yes, go ahead. Hit me with your best shot. Come on.
Hey, y'all. Everybody knows, or maybe you don't know, I wrote a devotional journal called Praying Through the Journey. And I was inspired to write it because I was actually writing a book of my life, and it's called Strings of the Heart. And in the middle of me writing that, the Lord said, you're actually going to write that book before you write all the things that I've done for you. And I'm like, well, wow, I don't know how to take that. So I've stopped writing. And I asked the Lord, what would you like for me to write? He said, I want you to explain to the people or share with the people how I blessed you. And with that, I was thinking, I'm a private person and I really don't want people to know my business. But testimony is good. So I
Yeah.
start
Yes.
writing in a journal form experiences I've had. I wrote about disappointment. I wrote about laughter. I wrote about guilt. I just start writing things down and how God has brought me through situations. And it came in a journal form. So I made a book. It's $20. It's called Playing Through the Journey. And I have gotten positive feedback from people that have purchased the book. It's also a tool that you can use for healing because I have in there about healing and how God healed my body. One of the many times He's healed me. And in the back of each topic, I have pages for you to journal. And people have told me after they read some of the things, they begin to write down their feelings and write down things that they wouldn't ever tell people. And that
Right.
has helped them to heal with some issues that they've had. And that's the whole point of the book. So I'm glad that it has been a blessing to people because that's what it is designed to do.
Awesome sauce.
All right.
And I have my own book. Okay. And I love laughter. That's my thing. I love laughter. I love forgiveness. Uh, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you think you got it all together, I mean, God bless you. But sometimes I need to hear somebody's experience, like we were just talking about. I need to hear how somebody else made it through, some of the things that I got to go through, or that I'm
Right.
in, or that I'm trying to work through. So it's important. Testimony is important. You know,
Yes.
uh, because I promise you, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm going through something that's real, because that's what this show is about. I'm going through some. I almost said something. Some bozoism. I'm going through some bozoism. I need to hear how somebody made it through it. Or if
Right.
I'm being bozo, I need to know. I need somebody to say, "Hey, girl, what you doing that for?" You know,
Or
he
just
doing.
to let you know that you're not alone. Because I think
Yeah,
sometimes when we go through some crisis or some issues, we
Yeah.
feel like we're all alone, and you're not.
You're
We're
right.
just not.
yeah, yeah.
I know I wrote the book, and I read recently what I wrote about guilt because the devil
Mm.
finds a hole to creep in on, and I had some parental guilt that I thought I had overcame. And when I
Yeah,
read it, I'm like, okay, I need to read this part again today to let me know that I did everything that I was supposed to do. So I
yeah,
shouldn't feel guilty about whatever it is the children are doing that I disapprove of. You know,
right.
sometimes as parents, you need to reassure yourself, or you
Yeah,
need somebody else to reassure you, or you
yeah,
need to know that, okay, I'm not the only one that has gone through that.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, that parental guilt. I, my mom told me one time. She said, "Girl, you did all that you know how to do. Girl, you gave me everything they supposed to need. Girl, you did, and it's like she talked me up out of that, because, and then I was telling Odessa earlier today that we sometimes we just need to apologize to our kids. You need to just sit down. You say, baby, I'm sorry.
You
Every
do.
time I say something to us, we always we coming back with it. You ain't dead. Well, you got common sense. Well, you didn't go to jail. Well, you didn't
Right.
this. Well, but they broken though. You know. So
And
instead of
it doesn't hurt us to say, mama was learning at the same time I was trying to teach you. So I apologize. I am sorry that whatever the situation it is. But you're right. As parents, we tend to say, oh, well, whatever. I did the best I could. And they might not, they know that, but they want an apology, or they need to know that you did this for this reason or for that reason so they can have a better understanding. And sometimes
yeah,
But they
parents
want
don't
to,
do that.
but they want a real apology.
That's true. Now you're right about that.
Let's make sure we emphasize
It's a genuine. Yeah.
that you want a real
a
apology.
real one, a
You
real
don't
one.
want a narcissistic, well, I did the best I could, and
That's not an apology.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
justification.
I
You need
totally,
to say,
yeah,
I
I
am
get it.
sorry for hurting you, or I am sorry for lying to you, or I am sorry that we had to live from pillar to post, because you need to say what it is.
yeah,
Right. And when you, if it's anything that I've done, this is the one I hate. The Bible says if somebody got an ought against you or you have an ought against them, go to that person and repent. So I'm repenting to you, and if I've done anything or if I made you feel like, I'm sorry if you feel. No, hold up, wait,
that ain't real. Yeah,
wait. What you sorry for?
yeah,
And see, that's I my eyes stay narrowed because people be peopling, and I'm speaking from my book of experience. I've
yeah,
heard
Right.
I need to repent to you for what? What you do? Well,
yeah,
if you feel like I didn't know, not if I feel like this is what you did, and I
yeah,
feel like you owe me an apology. But if you don't feel like you owe me an apology, don't
Don't
apologize because I
apologize.
don't want it. I don't want it like that.
Right.
I don't want a narcissistic victimology based apology.
Right.
but they comes with listening too. Parents have a problem listening to their kid. Listen,
Mm,
parent, and we have this thing of dismissing them by saying, you ain't got no problems till you got bills. You ain't got no problems. What kind of problems do you got? Don't do that. Don't do that.
right. I'm
But
tired. No, you're not tired.
we tend to forget what we went through as children, what we
Hmm.
carried, what we were dealing with at school, what we were dealing with peer pressure, what we were dealing. We tend to forget. Oh, I'm the parent. You listen to me. You do as I say. Eh, you need
Well,
to.
because I really came, because I'm older than both of y'all, you really came up under do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah.
Mm,
So with that, you don't really go to them. I had an exceptional mom. I would go to her, but the average parent during that time, you do what I say, not what I do, and you didn't go to your parents about whatever was your problem because you ain't have no problem. You ain't got no backbone.
yeah,
You know what you talking about? What
Exactly.
problem you got?
yeah. What
Exactly.
problem you
So
got?
with that being instilled in you, you really didn't confide. But
I
my
like.
generation of children, they have triggers and they want to know and they want you to talk to them and they want you to listen. So, I mean, every generation has just gotten different. So parenting had to get a little different.
Yeah. I like the comment that Stephanie made. She said, we must apologize and live the difference. That's deep. I like it.
That's
Yeah,
deep. Now,
I like
that
it.
And then I like she also commented they need the apology from us. And I
they do.
and I'm singling out that word need because we and I can't I'm just gonna be honest, we're gonna be transparent. It was a lot of things that I experienced as a child from my parents. That my parent let me tell you something. My mom was not an apologizer. Okay. She was not gonna apologize for nothing. Ain't gonna apologize for nothing. Her thing was you didn't go to jail. Okay. But it was a lot of baggage I was carrying into when I was a young lady, into my adulthood, into my relationships that needed I needed that talk with my mom. I needed the wisdom or the because sometimes people are so busy being Christians or so busy being righteous or
Ooh, talk
self-righteous
about it.
till they forget that God gave you a child to raise. You can't
Yeah.
be super spiritual that you forget to teach the basics. The basics about you got to teach your daughter about relationships by letting her go on dates, telling her what's going on. What is he saying when he say this to her? We forget to be parent. We forget to be parents because we be so super duper spiritual. That's why I always say, hey, I ain't got time for people who feet are not on the ground. You got to teach. You got to be that mentor to your daughter. Be that
That's
mentor
right.
to your sons. You got to tell your sons how to treat women. That's why they out here beating them and killing them. And this, I ain't gonna go into that, but the point is, it's a lot of things that your children need from you, and you can't be so super duper spiritual that you got to take them to the football game. You got to take them to. You got to show. You got to let them go on dates to the movies. You got to tell them, hey, that's not healthy. This right here is abuse. This right here,
That's
no.
right.
But if you are so super spiritual and so out of touch and you so above living a real life, your children they are gonna grow into adults that's uninformed, and they're gonna end up in certain situations that they should not be in. But you could have saved them from all that if you would have navigated it right. I always tell my daughters, I always tell people, God gave me my children, not gave me my children to manage, not to turn them into a mini me, a mini me, but to manage them. And we have a responsibility as parents to make sure that when these children leave out of our house into adulthood, that we have given them all the tools and information that they need.
You're
Yep.
right.
I agree. I totally agree. And like I say, it has to be a real apology. You got to come real with it. You can't come with the faking and
Ooh,
shaking. You can't come with the foolishness and the you just can't come with all that. You got to
can't
come
come.
sincere and you got to come ready to tackle whatever comes with that.
Right. Right.
I want to
Whatever conversation that they want to have, you got to be ready for that.
I like the comment also that Stephanie made, which we need to send Stephanie a mug or a shirt.
Okay.
I had to learn how to accept the apology that will never be said. Ooh, y'all,
Ooh.
Mm.
y'all,
Stephanie
my
need to come
father
on the
had,
show.
listen, listen. My father called me a ugly disgrace when I got pregnant at 17.
You're not gonna tell you what my daddy told me at
My
14.
father passed away. I didn't get that apology. So I had,
Me either.
I listen, what she just stated, that's the one of the realest statements
Yes.
that I have ever
Yeah.
heard.
Because you have to already accept it and just forgive. That's the other part of your healing.
Right.
You have to just go ahead and forgive.
You got to.
Because if you don't forgive, it keeps you in bondage.
It
Because, like
does.
you said, your father has passed away. The people not going to apologize. They may still be living, but not even thinking about you. And you're still
Hmm.
in bondage because you haven't forgiven.
And it
So
takes
You know.
growth.
you have to
You know
forgive a
what?
person for your freedom. The
And that's
forgiveness is not really for
anybody.
them. It's
And you
for
know that's
you.
anybody. Let me tell
Yeah.
y'all a story. Y'all know I'm in the Southern Soul and with the bands and everything. Back in 2017, when I released my first single, I was with this record label, and we were in the middle of doing the album, and everything was going good, and I had a performance at the Power Center. I was one of like the opening acts. Calvin Richardson was there, along with Big Pokey Band, Cold Drink, a lot of them, and there was this guitar player there with this other band, and I had a Christmas song that I was working on, and they took the song that I was in the middle of. I was helping them write it, rewrite some of the lyrics that they had, and they just told me like right in the middle of this, right before I get ready to go on and perform, oh, we gonna give that song to this guy. I didn't know this guy from a can of paint, but the way he was walking around, and I'm gonna show you how your mind works and how you, even though it's a trigger and you want to discuss it right then, other stuff start going on in your mind. And back then I wasn't all the way saved, so anything was going anything wasn't going was going through my mind, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm calling him all kind of bastards. I'm just, oh, who is this? And he's smiling in my face, walking up to me, and he's, nice to meet you. And I just kind of put my hand out and shook his hand, trying to be a good sport about it. But the whole time, now all these years, I'm angry. Every time I hear his name, I get angry. I get upset. I don't want to work with him. I'm not working. Nope, not working with him. Not doing it. Mm-mm. And would not work with this man at Surfside on a gig by the beach. They ended
Mm,
up having to get a guitar player, and it was him.
wow.
He walked up to me, and he was so like his energy was just, "How you doing, man? It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in such." He was just so, and I wanted to be angry, and I couldn't because a couple of years before that, I said I'm gonna have to let it go. And I told the guys when I said, "Y'all, I don't want to work with him, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let it go." Because they used him on a couple of gigs when I was in the hospital and I couldn't be on those gigs. They used him. I stopped and I had a discussion with this man and I told him, I say, I've been angry with you for a lot of years. I say, because of some stuff. I say, and you probably don't even know. And when I said I've been angry with you, he looked way angry with me and he started laughing. Like it just tickled him that somebody was angry with him. He say, people are never angry with me. What you were angry with me about? When I told him what happened, he was like, oh my God. He say, I didn't even want to
You
do
don't even know.
the song. He say, I never knew they even did that to you. Like that. He
Mhm.
never knew anything that the guys had done in the record label. He had no idea. Didn't want to record the song. And it was just, and I held this grudge. And I'm going to tell y'all something. It was 7 years that I
Wow.
held that grudge. And in that
Wow.
7th year, when I ran into that man last year in the summertime on a show that we were doing together, he said, I had no idea you were angry. He said, I didn't know any of that. And I said, I've been holding this girl, and y'all tears just started running down my face. He said, you know what? We gonna show them. He said, because that just show you the division they were trying to put
Yeah.
out there.
They put the division, at
You
least
know,
between you and him in
they
your
made this
mind.
division between
Right.
me and him because he
Right.
is a phenomenal guitar player. And he told me, he said, you know what? We gonna really make him mad. He said, when you get ready to record another song, he said, I'm gonna play your guitar for free.
Wow.
Because a couple of years before that, and during the time I talked to my guys, we were talking, and he say, come on now, lovely, you always talking about forgiving folks, and you need to let some stuff go now. You're gonna have to start forgiving people, because you're gonna keep walking around here angry. You're gonna, your head gonna pop when you see people when you're mad at them, and
Yeah.
that's how people talk to me. So I've really come down, and talking to that man that day, it showed me, wow, that
And you
division
held
that was
all that
there.
time for all those years, and he was unaware. So
He
you've
was
been in
totally
bondage. He
unaware.
was unaware.
He was
So,
unaware, but
Wow.
apologized nonetheless. He said, I am so sorry that happened to you. And it
that,
was sincere. It was a sincere, real apology. And it wasn't even needed because he had no idea of what had happened.
Right.
So all those years I was bound, like you were saying,
Right.
the you're in bondage. You're
Right.
angry when you hear a person's name. When you really need to just let it go.
Let it go.
you know, and forgive, but deny access, especially when you know that person means you harm. Just deny access to that person. But I totally agree. What she said, that ran deep. That hit me
yeah.
hard when she said that. When
Yeah.
Stephanie made that comment, we definitely need to send you a mug and a t-shirt, girl.
Stephanie said I had a situation where the man who raped my child when he was 5 came up to me. It caught me off guard. In that moment, I knew I had forgiven him because I felt nothing but love and compassion for him. I was able to hug him and let him know I loved him. Now, that's a power. Listen, Stephanie needs to be on this show.
Yes, she
Listen,
does.
that's powerful. I was talking to somebody else about forgiveness, and forgiveness is a powerful thing. And a lot of times we don't understand that unforgiveness is not holding that person; it's holding you.
That's
Right.
right.
It's stunting your growth.
Yes, it
And
is.
we and don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people say I'm not forgiving nothing, but you don't understand who it's destroying. It's not destroying the other person, it's destroying you from the inside out. We're going to take a
Yes, it is.
commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to get into our topic tonight. Girl, why you trying to spin the block? We'll be right back. Welcome back.
Welcome
Now,
back, y'all.
I like
y'all,
that commercial.
I'm ready for this topic tonight because it's for me. Stephanie says she's willing to come on the show. Okay, so
We look like we gonna have another sister.
we got a block.
Yeah.
We got a block set aside for you. Look, so I'm gonna tell y'all why I wanted to do this topic tonight. I got real comfortable tonight. I didn't get all dudded up because I wanted to relax and talk about this one. So I got this call. Well, I got a text, and the text was, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing?" Right? So I was like, "Who is this?" Because the number not saved in the phone. Who is this? You know who this is, you know. Long story short, I found out it was an ex from way back. When I
Mm.
look back over my life, way from back in the gap.
And think things over.
He ain't, you know, and then it went on. Conversation went on. Hey, you beautiful. I always tell folks that you was the best thing ever happened to me. I messed it up, blah, 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 blah. Gonna be real with you. Wasn't impressed. I'm gonna tell you my true attitude behind it. I felt like that was very arrogant. It was very disrespectful. And number five on that list, when I was with you, you cheated, right? You cheated, had you a side piece. Now you're married and you're calling me trying to make me into one. Listen,
Satan is
listen.
gonna tear your kingdom down.
And look, I'm transparent because I want these shows to help people. A lot of times we try to be so I'm so super duper spiritual. I'm above all this. Listen, this stuff happens and some people spin the block, they get back in it. You know, they get right back in it. You know, whether he was married or not married, you know, when that comes up what how do y'all feel about that spin the block thing? Let's start with Odessa. What you think about the spin the block?
We spin the block for a lot of reasons. You, what would you have felt if it hadn't been somebody you still had some feelings for? You wasn't mad at him, you didn't want him, but didn't care nothing about it. He just happened to be an ex that you want to stay an ex. But what if it had been an ex that you still had a little inkling for? Would you feel that strong about it?
Now that's true.
We spin the block for a lot of reasons. It's
Yeah,
easy for us not to spin the block for a Negro we don't care nothing about no more because he just done too much. But if you still got that little twang and he say hello beautiful, you might say, let me call it. Cause
listen.
I'm talking because I done spent the block. I've been back only because of thinking of what it could be or what it used to be or what it has the potential to be. And then when you spin the block and realize this ain't what you thought, you really was lonely that day that he texted or that he called. You really start reminiscing about the good times, and your mind get clogged up, and you spin the block on that. You be stuck on stupid for a minute,
You
and
stuck,
when you
plugged up.
get it, and you realize worth more than this, then you get
Yeah,
out of it. So you really have to think about before you spin the block. Why am I doing it? Really
yeah.
take some time to think about why am I doing this? Because we all have weak moments, and we
Yeah.
all say, "Girl, I wouldn't do that." You don't know what you're gonna do until you
You don't
face
know.
the situation.
Come on,
And
cause
that,
we
since I know who that particular ex is, he could write and text all day, and you ain't gonna be bothered. But
yeah.
if the
Baby.
right one texts,
Oh,
you're gonna think
listen,
about it.
listen,
So you
listen,
can't act like, "Oh, I don't never spin the block." That wasn't the right Negro for you to spin the block with.
listen.
You didn't
And
have
I'm
those
gonna tell y'all
feelings.
the truth. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. That's real. Cause I know an ex. I know him. He tall, dark, bald headed. If he called me, listen. Let's move on. Let's move. I got
We
hair.
can't. No,
Listen,
we can't move on. See, cause
What you got to say, Alicia?
baby, we can't. Cause see, as a block
baby,
spinner,
listen.
as a block spinner, I'm tell you,
You a black spinner, Alicia?
baby, look, I'm the queen of spinning the block. It's sad, Jesus. Lord, help me to hold out until my change comes, Jesus. I'm a block spinner for real. I'm trying to see who this person is coming, spin the block, and be mad at yourself for spinning the block and
That's
nothing has changed. There
exactly
it is.
that's true.
That's it right there.
That's
Now
it
let me
right
tell you about my block spin. This last block I spent, last time I went around that when it just made them four corners, I hadn't seen this man since I was 19 years old. And he showed up all these years later, just out the blue, popped up. He's supposed to say preacher now. Baby, look, biggest devil on this side of the Mississippi. Just Satan, the spawn of Satan in the pulpit. Father God, I don't look. I have to go by
now. Oh, help us,
what
Jesus.
Queenie said the other day in the sermon, talking about touch not, no. You full of the devil, and I'm gonna call you
But
on it,
Alicia,
Lucifer.
hold up, Alicia. Let's not concentrate on him. You spit the block. So
Exactly,
somewhere in there, when we do that, as much
baby.
self-esteem as I say that I have,
Let
at
me tell
some
you why.
point you don't feel worthy because we would not spin the block. There is
This is
something
true.
in us that we can dog them out, but we
Rose say
spit the
they in it
block.
for a reason. Exactly. Let me tell you why I spent the block. Because he came over here, he had all these good words to say. It had been quite a few years since I seen him. That old dude was still crude. He still looks good, but he was different. And when I realized I had spun the block, it had been a few months, and then I was like, wait a minute. This ain't You get complacent and then things start you realize, like Rose said a little while ago, you realize that you didn't have no business going around that block. But that little twang you had,
Mhm.
that little twang you had back in the day,
Listen, be
in my
real.
case, that
That's
little
real.
twang that
That's real.
that I had
Look, look,
back when I was 19 and he was
look,
25. Well, that
look.
same little twang don't work like that twang no more. And I was like blinded thinking and I was like, Lord, I shouldn't have done
But you
that.
know,
But
But
Alicia,
what
let me.
is it in us that makes us do that?
Well,
No matter what he is, it's something that within us that makes us feel unworthy or something at that moment that we spin that block.
sometimes listen. It's different reasons why you. It's
I
different
don't
reasons.
think it's a level of unworthy. I think it's a maybe I wasn't ready for that person then, and now I feel like I am. Or that person try to convince you, well, we wasn't ready back then, but we ready now. So now we gonna try it because you still got that little. It's still a little
Point.
something. It's still a
Well,
Yeah,
little
let me
spark.
yeah, yeah.
let me let me read this comment from Stephanie. I've
Come
spun
on,
the block
Stephanie.
a few times before, but the devil is alive now.
Okay,
I've done the inventory on myself. I love Stephanie. I've done the inventory on myself, and it's
There you
about
go.
moving forward. Lessons learned. Come on, Stephanie.
Yeah, yeah,
come on,
yeah.
Stephanie.
And the key phrase is she did the inventory on herself because it's about the decision we decide to make. You have to
Right.
do the inventory on yourself.
And then
Yep.
I want to
Because when
ask.
I spent the back this last time, I didn't want to be by myself. I felt like, I need to grow old with somebody. I'm comfortable with him. I know him. That's my baby daddy. That's my ex-husband. It's a whole lot that came into play. But
Right.
when we actually got together, we're not the same people. And I'm like, oh, Desi, you're worth more than this. But I
Right.
should have been able to deduct that before I went back to the block.
And- yeah,
So
and a
we have
lot
to
of
take
times we don't.
I agree with you, Stephanie. We have to take the inventory within ourselves.
Right.
Okay, so Stephanie is saying something wonderful again, but I want to talk about this one because I know this one right here. She said my last spin drove me crazy. Grab somebody from high school. listen, listen. I know about it, boo. I know about that one there. That
Me too.
one there. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Me with this high school thing, it didn't have nothing to do with my self-esteem. I looked at him and said, I remember you. I had a crush on you when I was in high school. Now
Yeah.
we've grown. Now we've grown. Now, I agree, Stephanie. baby drove me up. She look, drove you crazy. Drove me up the tree, up the
Yeah.
wall. Listen, listen, listen. But we never dated in high school, but I did. I still consider that spinning the block because I know you. That's why I consider that
Right,
spinning
right,
the
right.
block. The show tonight. I love it. I love it.
Yep.
It's,
It
but
wasn't from high school. It wasn't from high school. That spin the block wasn't from high school. But I'm gonna tell y'all another spin the block. Y'all won't believe. My first love from 16 years old. I take care of him now in home health. And he's a veteran, all that. I take care of this brother in a professional capacity. I'm actually his caregiver. And now his neighbors and his business partners and all that, they see me at his house and moving around in there, and they say, that's his real wife right there. I have to cut my eyes. No, 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 no. Because we tried to reconnect. That's the spin the block.
huh.
We tried to reconnect, and we did 30 something years later, and realized in 1 year, no, we two different
That's
adults. I
right.
got to get away from
Right,
around you because,
right.
yeah, I'm
I like
Mm-mm.
what Rose said. Rose said, curious to see if something different.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
that's true.
you, look,
That's true.
Rose, you own it. I'm
You
telling
own
you.
it.
Because
She hit the nail on the head.
some in you, sometimes, something in you be saying, maybe we're a little grown, got a little salt
Right,
and pepper now, you know,
right, right.
maybe he got some sense. Cause hey, we being real tonight, ladies. Cause sometimes every other area was good. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it.
Talk about it.
Every other area was good, but this area here. So now let's see if he fixed that. Okay. You know, and you get back in it. Okay. That's why I love these conversations because some ladies then got back in stuff and or they're thinking about pursuing an ex. Now let me say this. I want to say this. Um, yes, a person is an ex for a reason, but I've seen where marriages have worked when they got back together. I've seen relationships get
true,
better
true.
when
Yeah.
they got back.
I
So
have to.
I don't want to have a discussion and act as though it never works
You
out.
can't handle.
It
Yeah,
works out.
yeah,
I just want to say this. You got to remember why they are ex. Okay. Now, if it was sometimes they are ex because you messed up.
that's true.
Sometimes they are ex because you weren't mature enough to handle what you was in.
Right.
You know, and you said, Lord, you said, Lord, if you give me another
If you bring it
chance,
back,
if you
yeah,
bring it back, I'll be a good wife to him. I was silly. I was stupid. I was a little stupid. We're gonna use ST. Yeah, I was a little stupid, sliding
Hmm.
on slow. So Lord,
Yeah.
if you bring it
yeah,
back,
SOS.
yeah, yeah,
Stuck on soup and sliding on
look,
silly.
look, if you bring it back around, I keep my mama out my business. If you bring it back
yeah,
around,
Mm.
I keep my raggedy best friend. Well, she ain't my friend over at my
right,
Lord, if you bring
right,
it
right.
back around.
If you do,
Talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Now, now it could be a learning, like Stephanie was saying, it could be a lesson. Okay. It could be a lesson. And sometimes we are stuck on the past and it hinders
yeah,
us moving forward. And we think and let's be real, like we get comfortable sometimes with a person and they could be just as toxic and destructive as they could be. Their words could be destructive and could have us just jacked up, but because it's familiar and we know what we're going to get, we will sink back into a comfortable place just so we can feel not be lonely, just so we can come on. I'm just this let's be real on this
yeah.
show.
You're right.
Stop.
You're right.
Look, you'll get with a dude, and I know y'all super duper saved, but some of y'all know what I'm talking
Uh,
about. You'll get with a dude just because he good. Let's move on. Go ahead. Oh, that's you was gonna say something.
Now I was choking on my water, but yeah, you're telling the truth.
I
they
don't
The
care.
said
truth
I
is
was
all
sitting
in
underneath my
there.
feet because I'm
Hey, and
telling you.
Odessa, I know everybody's super duper saved, so I know I ain't talking to people that ain't,
Right,
that
right,
I
right.
know y'all.
But I
So
understand. I'm with you. I'm
I'm
with you.
talking about that person that ain't got that part of their body saved yet, and they
Hey,
still out there doing what they do. So it's different tricks that the enemy use to drag you back
It
into something.
is. It
It is,
is. And
and
for some people it's money. It ain't got
some
nothing to do
people,
with nobody.
no,
It's security. He got a check
yeah,
coming in. He gonna work. He got a
yeah,
side hustle. I got some income coming in.
yeah,
mm-hmm.
So some people do it for securities, for
yeah,
finances.
yeah.
And that's not
Oh,
good either. Because
yeah.
your bills paid, but you miserable. Your bills paid, but you ain't going nowhere with it. Your
Yeah.
bills paid, but you can't stand and look at it. Your
You
bills paid and it don't work no more. Come on.
oh, listen, and that's deep though, because as women, we sometimes, like you said, we know who our leaning post is. You know who it is. You know who go. You everybody know you got somebody. Let's be real. When I was when before I got saved, and a little bit in the beginning, listen. It was a man that paid the bills. It was a man that brought the groceries in. It was a
Come on
man.
now.
Y'all talking about that sneaky link? It was a man that y'all know what y'all got set up in y'all life. That's why I love this show, because I wanna let's deal with it for real. You know why you spin the block. You know why you spin. You know why you made that U-turn. Come on. You know why you made that 360. You know why you did it. And
Yep.
that's why I wanted to have this show tonight, because when I got that text all woven in through that text was sex. Was you so fine, you so good looking, and you this. Listen, let's be real. Those are the things that link us up, and in the word of God, they call strongholds. Those are the things that keep us tied into destruction. It keeps us
Mm-hmm.
tied into toxicity. And what Odessa was talking about earlier, it plays into that part of us that's low. We don't feel like we deserve better. And it's some work that gotta be done. It's some work
That's
that
right.
gotta be done. And I did a video last week or this week practicing no. You need to practice how to say no. You need
Mm-hmm.
to practice. A lot of us be talking about block him, but you unblocked him. It took you 2 hours. You unblocked it. Come on.
You know what? I don't block people. I just
I
don't
don't know.
answer my phone. I'm not going through all them changes. I feel like that's just too much work. If I got to take
Especially if you
if
don't
I got to
unblock them in
take the
2 hours.
time, if I got to take time out of my couple of seconds to say, I don't want to hear from this person no more. You either delete that number out your phone, and then when you see it
Don't
and you don't recognize the number, don't answer it, or just don't answer it. Change that number to nope or do not answer.
But we go. Let's go into that though. If you and I'm gonna tell, I'm transparent. I'm be real. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to say no.
You
Sometimes you
right.
ain't strong enough. Let's be real. The last four digits of his number or the first three. You know, come on.
You
If
might know
you
that
know,
whole thing by heart.
if you it's some people that's strong enough never to answer that phone again. But it's
Mm-hmm.
That's
also
true.
some folks dealing with some strongholds. That's why I put a Rose comment on here. Exactly. And then you are soul tied with them. And
You are.
we need to really talk about that, because a lot of people think you can have sex with 4 or 5 people and it won't mess with you. But honey, if you riding in that car and then all of a sudden you think you want to see, so baby, that's that soul tie, honey. You laid in the bed, you all relaxed, you just got out of the shower, all of a sudden you think about this person. Baby, that's that soul tie. That spirit called to you. That person called to you. You just thinking, oh, I'm lonely. Oh, I just love it. Listen, soul ties are some serious business.
I
They are.
agree. Yep.
They are.
Listen, it's some serious business. And A lot of time we don't want to talk about this stuff, but this stuff is real. It's folks that's functioning in the church, functioning in all kinds of capacities that still have not broken
Sometimes.
the soul ties off their life,
That's
and
true.
they
That's
thinking
true.
they thinking that oh, I got a lust spirit, oh, I got this. You got a soul tie. You got something tied. A woman's body is a serious temple. Why do you think? Okay, I'm gonna be clean with it. When you got a TV, you got to plug it into the wall to get power. Okay, women are the same way. A man plugs in. I'm telling you,
I
and
wrote a song.
a part of him unites with you.
I
Okay,
Right.
wrote a
that's
song. It's
why it's
called "Plug in
important.
My Socket."
That's why it's important. I'm trying to be, trying to help y'all. That's why it's important to that's why God, he talks about being married, and the bed is undefiled and all that for married people, because it's soul ties. You break up with one man, all of a sudden you see another one, he cute, he done got your number, the next thing you know, you done had sex with 2 3 4, all these folk in your spirit. Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
use condom. Okay, 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 listen, I'm trying to help you. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm just being real on the show
Yeah.
tonight. We gotta keep it
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Keep it real. It's
You
hard
can.
sometimes for us to have these conversations because uh with again that super duper that be going that razzle dazzle, hey, wake up. This is real. Come on. You go to church, you didn't go, okay, scenario. You done went to church, you done fell out on the aisle to the pastor that laid hands, you done hit the floor. You understand me? He said he was gonna text you when you get out of church. He fine. Come on, he fine, he look good. Your type. He got the little salt and pepper, bald head. I'm talking about myself. And he said he gonna call me when you get out of church. I'm gonna bring some groceries by. I'm going
Knowing
I'm
that you like to eat.
I just know I like groceries. Listen, bring some groceries by. you know, let's be real, ladies. Oh, I got
Hey,
you. And let me tell you something. This is what I'm getting to. He knows what you like. I'm gonna bring you by a Dr. Pepper.
come with a 12 pack of
Put a
cherry
12
Dr.
pack.
Pepper or Dr.
Listen,
Pepper strawberries and cream. Just.
he know. He knows what you need. Listen, the spin the block thing, it could it you gotta, like Odessa said earlier. What did you say, Odessa? You gotta know what this is about. What did you say,
Yeah.
Odessa?
Stephanie said she had to block because she wasn't strong enough. Girl, I feel you. I'm not strong enough either. I'm not saying I'm unstrong, but I just didn't. I think it's because I cussed him too bad. That wild card I had cussed him so bad. I told Queenie about it. She know what I'm talking about. I had cussed him so bad I had to go on and get on my knees and talk to the Lord about that and ask him to please
Yeah,
make him lose my number. Lord, give him the mind to lose my number, Father,
give him
please.
the mind to lose
Give him
it.
the
Because
mind
you
to
wasn't
lose my
strong
number
enough.
because if he called me, I might cuss him again. And if he show up, it might be some issues. So
and the,
yeah, I
and the good thing is, the one thing that is a good thing is to have a best friend or somebody that you can
Right.
be accountable to. Tell them, hey,
Right.
I need to stop this. This is destructive. Or I just don't want to be honest. I just don't want to be with them. But it's, and you wonder, oh, I did it. You have to have an account. That's a good thing to have an accountability person. Okay.
That's true.
uh people that deal with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, uh we there is another addiction, and I'm going to help you with it. It's
It
called
is.
sex. Okay.
sex
It
addiction.
is.
And some people feel like, well, I don't have sex all the time. Let me help you with something. It's a lot of people with sex addiction that's married, and they don't realize if you ever get a divorce, it's going to be right there waiting on
Right.
you. Right there waiting on you.
Right.
You have to root out and deal with that thing for real. You can't
Yeah.
just be sitting around talking about, well, I'm married now. You all you did was go get a license to have sex. You didn't go get you know what I'm saying? You ain't married because you this is you went and got married so that you wouldn't be fornicating,
Yeah.
and the
So you
eyesight of
didn't have to
God.
deal with it.
Didn't have that guilt complex. Now, what Stephen say? He had me running to his house at 4 a.m. in them streets. Listen,
I've been
Been there,
there.
girl.
Stephanie,
Been there, baby.
Stephanie, listen. We're being transparent tonight. I said when we started this new season of Sistas United, it was going to be real raw and uncut because we have to get out of that place where we're saying it's a man's fault. It's that man's fault. It's that man.
Right.
No,
Listen,
you have to take accountability for your actions.
listen, Stephanie, that 4 a.m. I know it, boo. I be in a Lyft or Uber.
I done got
Listen,
off a
listen, I
16-hour
got
shift and drove
listen,
from
y'all.
Houston to El Paso.
Hey.
Listen, I got in a lift one time, y'all, with my favorite pillow to go spend the night. Y'all know that spend the night bag. I'm gonna get on y'all about that spend the night bag.
Hey. Hey. You keep it
Look,
in the
left
car.
my favorite pillow in that Uber. I was done. I went home. Let me
Let
tell
me
you
let me tell
something.
you how bad I am. Let me tell you how bad I am. I'm right now today. You want to be transparent? Let's be transparent. I got a flat iron, a hair dryer, some
Yeah.
shampoo and conditioner, and a couple of outfits over there that hid in some drawers that he don't go through. He don't even know it's there.
Don't
He don't even know the stuff in the house. He don't have no idea that it's in the house, but it's there. He
Yeah.
might run across it, or I might mess around and leave something there that I just forgot to take. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got towels, the big towels, the bath sheet towels that I bought. Put them up. Yeah, I. That's how bad. That's how bad
I
I
think
am.
we didn't touch. Listen, but this
That's
is
spit
real.
block for
Listen,
real.
this is real. That the spirit that is for real, and it will have a hold on your life, like like Stephanie say, how you crazy and
So
doing
how do
stuff.
we
And
stop this? So how do we stop it?
again, accountability, admitting that you have this going on. You need to. You could talk to your pastor. Your pastor will teach you about soul ties, how to break it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's starving it out. Number one is starving it out. Number two, you have to deal with what your issues are. You
Yeah,
have to
yes, you
deal
do.
with what is making. Let me tell y'all something. When I realized that I did not think I was that cute, and that I'm going, I had an issue, but it went back all the way to that daddy with that ugly disgrace, that daddy issue, always thinking that I was not good enough. It had to do with that. If you do not value yourself and your self-worth is in the toilet, you will listen, you will do some strange things. Okay.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, don't say what you won't do when
Won't
you ain't
do.
delivered. When you ain't
Right.
delivered, don't say what you won't do.
I
Okay, don't
agree.
don't ever lift yourself up talking about I wouldn't do that. Baby, you'll find yourself butt naked in somebody's car somewhere. Talking about well, God will forgive me. Yeah, you'll find yourself in some strange situations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm
That's
just gonna
true.
tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, and like Alicia was talking about that man of God, woman of God, y'all, hey, watch out. Cause
Yep.
a man of God to have you doing something strange for a piece of change. Okay. It was a pastor had a lady out prostitute, had a woman pregnant in the church, and
Mm-hmm.
and then look, and then had a couple of children by some women in the church.
And
Get
love to
your
keep you their little secret. Don't
come on.
tell nobody, because people get jealous of you, and it's kind of all eyes on me. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no time to play with y'all tonight.
I don't have to. I ain't finna play with you, boo. We're not doing
I'm
all that.
gonna tell y'all, look, this season of Sistas United is we keeping it real. And I ain't got time to be playing with you. I ain't got time for you up there falling out in the church, going look, falling on the floor, covered in oil, and you gonna get up like fried chicken and go jump right back in the frying pan,
Exactly.
whoever it is. No, I want you to understand our behaviors come from somewhere. They come from some. They're birthed from somewhere.
They are. You have to find the root.
Yeah, you got to get to the root.
Yep.
Got to.
I'm with you when you say about the when your parents tell you things.
Yeah. Oh
That's
my God.
that cuts deep when they say things. Because when you said what your dad said about you, we have. I guess that's why we BFFs like we are, because we kind of went through some of the same stuff, and we
Mhm.
end up talking about it. Because my dad told me one time I wasn't gonna be nothing up my whole life but a little bee.
What?
Told me that when I was 14. That's what you're gonna be
Now,
when you grow up.
and let me tell you something. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna put this right. I wasn't gonna say it. I was gonna say let's do another show about it. But let me just drop this. And I always tell this to parents, especially uh uh these parents that love to say, I just say what I need to say. I'm just straightforward. I'm just this, that, and the other. Yeah, okay. Watch
Hmm.
what you say to your children. They
Right.
carry it throughout their whole
Wouldn't
life.
talk
I
to
can I can vividly remember what my dad said. Now I'm gonna tell y'all how I excused it away when I grew up. I started saying, well, that's the way he had to express himself. He was just hurt. And let me tell you what that is. That's that's that place people live in to protect themselves. I'm
right.
going I'm going I'm going I'm
Justify.
make what happened small. But you know
Right.
what you're doing? You're saying that you deserve that. You're saying that maybe something I, no, no. What was said to you, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to cast it down. Every evil, negative word that your parents said to you,
Mhm.
I'm going to cast it down. You ain't going to never be
In
nothing. I
Jesus'
cast it
name.
down. You going to always, you going to have a bunch of kids. You are fast. You manage. I cast it down. I cast it down. And I sent it back to hell from where it came.
Hmm.
Because that's where it came from.
That's where it
We
came from.
responsible with what we say to our children. If you tell him
Amen.
he's not going to be anything, and then he grows up and he goes to jail and he has no career, has no job, he has no drive, guess who spoke it?
You
That's
put
right.
that, you planted that seed. Yeah.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right.
I'm just saying. Because I hear people in church say this kind of stuff to their, I hear it everywhere. I was standing in a gas station, and this young lady was standing there with her daughter. She called her daughter a bitch. She called her a hoe. She called her all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this lady, and I'm saying, girl, what is going on with you? Because why this girl, listen, children are a sponge. Right up, I don't care if they're a teenage, they are absorbing everything you say to them. Oh, you
Everything.
have nothing. Oh, you just stubborn. Oh, you just dished. Oh, you this. Oh, you that. You are giving them some this fake imposter
Right. Right.
personality. You're giving them this, and you don't realize it because you so busy caught up in what's going on in your mind and your head with your husband and all this. So now you going after your kids. Get yourself together. All
Amen.
right.
Yep.
Get together.
You have to get it together.
I'm just saying. Projection. I like that, Stephanie. Projection. Yeah, I told Stephanie I was going to send her a link. She said she ain't ready tonight. So we're going to have on next Wednesday. We'll have on next one. I was ready. Listen. And then we got Rose on there. Rose, listen, Rose is on it too. Okay, Rose. You're gonna
All
be in
right
one
now.
you're gonna be in one of these Sistas United squares. Keep on. Keep on. Yes. I would love we would love to have guests on the show. If you feel
Yeah.
like to you have a certain topic, like Alicia, tell them about the segment you said you wanted to do again. Just shout that out
We're
right
gonna
quick.
have we're gonna have a what would you do segment where
Mm-hmm.
we want our viewers, if if you so are so inclined, send us a little something about what you may be going through, or what you may have a question on. I'm gonna give you just a little example of one, because this one got me in a whole lot of trouble a few years back. And because I said some things and I lost a couple of friends behind some things that I said. The scenario was, and this was a marriage scenario. So this was two married couples. You're a couple, you've been married for a lot of years. And this was basically to the woman. You've been married to your husband for 20, maybe say 30 years. You're both quite comfortable. You've lived your life, you've done your careers, you've done all of that, you retired, but now your husband is sick and he's practically on his deathbed.
Mm.
You are in and out that hospital 24/7 with this man. You leave the hospital one day and you come back. But when you come back, it's a lady standing next to him at his hospital bed, and she got two little children with her.
Mm.
These little children are 7 and 4. Now, you've been with your husband 30 years, so we're going to do this math right quick.
Got the math. Got the math.
Okay? Now, he tells you when you walk back in the room and you see this, because clearly he didn't think it through that the lady was going to be gone before you got back, or he didn't think it through, well, she might not be gone that long, y'all shouldn't be here, or whatever the case was. But, baby girl, this is my side piece, and these are my children. And throughout the years that we've been together, I've been her main source of income. And, I've been taking care of her and these kids our whole life. And they said, you have lived pretty comfortable because you had your career, he had his. Y'all, all of your money is together pretty much. And he tells you this a few days before he dies. Now, the children are there to say goodbye to their father. The lady leaves the hospital. It doesn't even say whether or not you have a conversation with this lady. Because, see, as black women, she probably would have got her hair snatched all out, and the laws had to drag some people away from them before the scenario even comes up. But 2 days later, this man dies. You get an insurance policy. You're getting the funeral together and everything. But now the scenario is, what would you do? Because now there are two little kids that have lost their father, and they're probably going to need some help.
Okay,
So,
hold up.
what would you
Eh,
do? Oh, girl, next week. Next
Next
week,
week.
doggone it. Next week. Because I have some things that I said that I would do. And I'm not going to say them this week. I'm going to wait till next week. But
Next
that's
week.
that's a really good topic for next week. What
Next
would
week.
you do?
What would you do?
Okay,
How
Well,
we're
would you
not
help
saying
these
what we're gonna
children?
do till next week.
Well, we can talk about this one tonight because this is just
uh-uh,
one of the
we can't,
No,
scenarios.
I'm
hey,
gonna say mine the next week.
yeah,
That's what
because
I said. Let's save it to next week. Because,
yeah,
baby,
let's
look, I have 2, 3 things that I could
I
say.
got about four,
And
five things I would do.
it's it's some things that would happen on my who.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do listen, y'all. We're gonna do this topic next week, okay? Next Wednesday at 8 p.m. I need for you guys to be on. Look, we dealing with real issues. And like Alicia said, if you got something you need for us to chop up, send it to us. Send it to us. We're ready. We're ready. Okay, Odessa, give your final remarks.
I think this was a wonderful show. I think that transparency is what we need because we need to know that we're not alone in this walk. And somebody has some experience on something that you're going through. And as sisters, we need to unite and help one another.
We
Yes.
do. We do. All right, Alicia, your final remarks.
I can't wait till next week so we can talk about this. What would you do? Because just given the scenario, I'm already got heated all over again.
Yeah.
But this was an awesome show, and I know that we've always this every week is a new beginning. So this is just this is another beginning of another everybody have a great week. Stephanie can't wait to see you next week on the show. And my sisters that are united here with me, I love y'all.
Love you too.
Love
I
you too.
love y'all. Stay encouraged. Odessa, I gotta come get that book.
Please
You
do.
gotta
I'm
put
right
it
down the
on.
street.
You gotta put it on Amazon and stuff like
I-
that too.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Okay, so we can share it and let
But in the
everybody know.
meantime, in between time, I'm right down the street. Come get it.
I definitely will. I sure will. Send me
All
your
right.
address.
Okay.
All right.
All right, y'all. Listen, we love y'all. We want y'all to make sure y'all get Odessa's book as well. Praying through the journey. Uh, been in the block. We chopped it up as much as we could. We hope something was said that blessed you. Something we said helped you heal and get to that new place. Get to the finish line with some of this stuff. Get an accountability partner. If you're dealing with a couple of things and you are, get you accountability, and not one that's gonna co-sign everything you do and
Right.
say. Get you somebody gonna tell you the truth about your stuff, that you ain't gonna choke if they say it. Okay. All right. We love you. I want you to remember that without faith it's impossible to please God, but with God all things are possible. Who cares? God
God
cares. God
cares.
bless.
Bye,
Good night.
sister. See y'all.